Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Language and Life Skills. I am Matthew Antukanil. Our topic today is faith in God. Do not rush God, He is faithful. Do not rush God, He is faithful. It is Lenin who said, promises are made to be broken. Well, that is with politicians, not with God. God is eternally faithful. He never goes back on His promises. This is what we learn from the life of Abraham, the father of faith. God called Abraham to go out of his own place called Ur, to a new place, to a new land. We would show him and give to him and to his descendants. He asked him to leave his kith and kin, his familiar surroundings, and promised him great fortune, huge progeny. And it was late in his life, at the age of 75, God called him to go. Abraham listened to God, put his trust in Him, and moved with his wife, the entire family, servants, cattle, to the new promised land. He was 75 years when he did so. And God had promised him descendants as many as the stars of heaven, and on the sand on the seashore, and yet in a new place for 10 years. He had no child. He was 85 and more now. Still he had no child. So his wife Sarah got tired of waiting. And she told her husband Abraham, please sleep with the maid servant, the Egyptian maid servant Hagar, and have a child. Abraham listened to his wife, and he slept with Hagar, and Ishmael was conceived, Abraham's first son. And now, what happened to Sarah? She became downhearted because the maid servant Hagar looked with disdain upon the wife who could not beget a child. She displayed her child in front of the servants, and Sarah felt humiliated. She complained to Abraham, to the husband, and Abraham told her, you do with your servant Hagar as you like. She is your servant. She is at your disposal. And now Sarah began to punish and to persecute Hagar. It was after this, several years after this, that the son of promise, the legal heir Isaac, was born. Abraham was nearly 100 years when this happened, and this was a great event in his life. There was great rejoicing in the family at the birth of Isaac, and Sarah was now proud of her son. Now that there was a real heir, the slave girl and her child had to be sent away. So Abraham, with great pain, arranged to send Hagar and her son Ishmael into the desert, provided them with bread and water. But this was a great agonizing moment for Abraham, because Ishmael was his own son. It is true, Sarah felt nothing. She was not the mother of Ishmael. Abraham's heart was wrenched at this parting of his son, maybe son of the slave, but all the same his own son, who brought about this agony in his life, this great crisis in his life. It was of his own doing. We cannot say it was God's plan. He listened to his wife Sarah and try to rush the plan of God. And that's how Ishmael was born. Now he had the great problem, great pain of sending away his own son into the desert. Now this is what happens to us when we try to realize God's plan through our own efforts. We try to rush God's plan. We try to make God's promises come true through our own efforts. God is not expecting us to do that. It can happen that newly married couples not having children after marriage, 1 year is over, 5 years over, 10 years over, still no child. They pray a lot. They make novenas, they go for pilgrimages, holy places, and still there is no child. Then they give up faith. They give up trust in Jesus. And maybe they go to the Swamijis or other religions, conduct pujas and sacrifices. Or they make other arrangement, like having a surrogate mother, so that they have a child. Now, a child is not a natural or automatic outcome of a marriage. Child is a gift of God. It is something additional to the marriage, to the joy of the marriage, joy of a couple. It is not automatic. It is up to God to give children to you after your marriage. When will you have the child? 5 years after, 10 years after? We do not know. And whether you have a child, that also in God's hands. It is not up to us to go ahead and rush God's plan. Not having a child for some years after marriage is no reason for divorcing the husband or wife. Nor is it a reason for looking for other ways of getting children by all means. This kind of situation can happen also with applying for jobs, praying for a job, not getting a job for years, and then giving up hope in God, trying to get job through other ways. No, dear friends, God is faithful to His promises. He will carry you to His promises. He has His plan. 1 day is like 1,000 years with Him, and 1,000 years with 1 day. Let us not rush to fulfill God's plan. It is up to God, like in Abraham's case, to see the fulfillment of the promises he makes. If you like this video and the presentation, please subscribe. So see you another time. Bye.